Very pleased to be joined by Chris Sanigar. Chris, boxing manager, promoter, coach, former boxer yourself. What haven't you done in boxing, Chris? How are you doing, first of all?
Okay, I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah.
Doing great, yes.
Great. Very pleased to have you on board today. I guess, first of all, how is everything going with the gym, and how's everything going with you?
Yeah, the gym's, we're sort of reviving the gym after COVID. It was very, very difficult times. We were closed for long spells, but, slowly we're coming back.
Amazing. Well, we're here today in your gym, which is a Bristol boxing gym. Amazing facility. I think you'll agree as well, Joel.
Yeah, literally, I put about 5-6 months training here. Amazing facilities. Obviously, it's got national lottery funding for the facilities of the gym, which is unique for me. I've never trained in another gym that has that. How did that come about? Can you explain that for a second?
Well, for 40 years, we were over just across the road at the old Empire building. And then Andy Souter, the owner of the building, he got ill health. He asked me if I'd like to purchase the property, but it had like 8 roofs.
Wow.
It would just be maintenance. It's an old building, and I just said, look, I'm not a building developer.
Yeah.
I just sort of. So we then went about looking for premises, but local. Naturally, there wasn't many premises, and B, the ones that were astronomical rentals or purchases. But we were speaking with the mayor at the time, and with that, we managed to get this property. A council purchase.
Yeah, it's lovely facilities. So we got this studio room, we got that room now with the ringing bags, then we got the main room with ringing bags, and that has like a side room with bags as well. Then you got your changing rooms, you got your staff rooms. There's kind of seating areas out as well. You kind of got the shop at the front. Like it's a whole business here. It's a whole family. So one thing I want to talk about this gym is you'll see photos everywhere of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle just hanging out here in Bristol Boxing Gym. What's the story there? Let the people know.
Okay, yes, we had Prince Harry down. That was through our charity Empire Fighting Chance. We deliver classes and tutorial courses to these youngsters. We have probably something like 300 youngsters coming through here every week.
Wow.
Okay, wow. And then, what I love about this gym, and obviously the charity Empire, so one of the things they do is they do classes to teach kids about money, which I think is so important, because it just doesn't get taught in schools. You get taught about taxes and stuff. No one gets taught that in school. And I'm self-employed. I wish I was taught that in school. Do you know what I mean? So it's a real unique opportunity for the Bristol youth, I think.
Oh, without a doubt, and we're taking a lot of the youngsters from this area and improving them.
What impact do you reckon you're having on the youth of Bristol?
Sorry?
What impact do you recken you're having on the youth in this area? Can you notice a difference?
Yeah, it's a massive impact, and it's just like one big family, you'll get the parents would have come to the Empire, and then they're bringing their children, and even to the regard of maybe 3 generations, but the grandfather brings the dad, and the dad brings his son.
Yeah, you're talking about a timeline. Literally, just out that room there, it's got like a timeline of everything. Do you know what I mean? Going on for years. Obviously, you're on there yourself. Your fighting days. My coach down Hamilton's there chilling with his little top hat on. Do you know what I mean? He's crazy fighters over the years. There's a lot of history here.
Yeah, there's a lot of history, and we've had some great boxers come through.
You obviously, Lee Shelby come from all the way from Wales down to here. His brother come
Barry.
down as well.
Yes, most of my Welsh fighters that I manage come and train here. Naturally, I've got Tony Borg, is the Newport trainer. It's sort of the main gym.
Yeah.
But all the other ones come as well, you know. Yeah.
So I want to go back to yourself, a bit about you, about your boxing background. Obviously, when did you start boxing? How did you get involved in boxing yourself?
Okay, well, I just I wanted to be a footballer, I suppose, just like everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Baller.
Yeah, I know the football inside out, like an encyclopedia. I'm still a big fan now. I go.
What team do you support?
The Rovers, of
I
course.
thought you were a Pompey supporter.
Yeah, they're promoted. Well, they'll be playing Pompey next
Will they?
month because they've been promoted to League One now. Let me tell you, the scenes in this city when Rovers got promoted,
Was
you
it?
couldn't go outside.
Really?
The City fans were not happy.
Is it a proper footballing city?
Yeah, like, you know, so obviously they were League Two. I've never seen like a group of fans so passionate and so devoted to a League Two team, and so they got the promotion that they deserve. And yeah, they'll be playing Pompey next season. So yeah, watch
you
out.
got to come down, Chris.
Sorry?
You got to come down to Portsmouth.
Yes, in fact, it's early in the season we come to Pompey. But likewise, you know, like with all the football at Portsmouth, I can remember, I think there was Milkins in goal, George Lay, the full-back, Ray Hiron up front, you had Trebilco, you know, yeah, so I sort of know all about Pompey as well,
Yeah.
all the teams.
Good.
So, in a funny way, it almost sounds like boxing was a fallback for you. You say you're very passionate about football.
Yeah.
Very passionate about football. So why weren't you a footballer then?
Just didn't make the grade, you know. I was a good junior and youth player, but we just didn't get the opportunities, you know. And yeah, and that was it. Whereas with the boxing, you can make the opportunities, you know, more so because you're just dependent on yourself. With the football, if they don't pass you the ball and you're on trial,
Not much you can do.
you can't do nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, or each time you get the ball, it's a hospital ball.
Yeah, yeah. Someone's trying to take you out, don't they?
Yeah. And you know, naturally with football, it's all clicky as well, you know. And yeah.
Yeah, they say boxing's the loneliest sport in the world. So obviously, once you're in there, no one's going to help you. Do you know what I mean? It's only you that can help yourself. So I suppose that's what you're on
Yes,
about.
and likewise, you know, you don't need to be as skillful or as talented as the other guy, but with you know, grit and determination, you can overthrow it.
Yeah, it's truly on you, boxing, isn't it?
Yes.
But the amount of work you put in, as you just said. So, what age did you get into boxing from football?
I didn't start boxing really until I think my first contest was when I was 18.
You're 18,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, so I didn't box no schoolboy or
Was that in
junior.
Bristol, I take it?
Here, yes, with the Empire.
With the
Rugby
Empire,
Club,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, we were both 19 when we had our first amateur bouts. So it shows you can do it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Literally. Yeah, Darren Hamilton, like I know he turned pro at 27, which is quite late.
Wow.
And for the pro champion at 33. So you know, for people listening, just don't give yourself excuses. Like, do you know what I mean? You always think you're too old, or I got this injury from 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Just don't make the excuses. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it.
Chris said he sort of saw it himself. So, yeah, 18. 18.
Yeah,
you were.
18, and then you know, in those days you boxed very quick. You know, like we used to take our bag to every show. What did they? I don't know what they used to call it. Spares, extras.
Oh, spares, yeah.
Oh, so they'd match the card, and then they go, okay, who's the spares? And then they go, okay, you two together. The weights weren't so, you know, thing. Then it went, no, you two, you know, that's it. You'd go over to Wells. My goodness, they just go, that one, that one, that one, that one, that's it, get in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They won't allow that now, would they?
Yeah, no. And
chance.
you know, when you went to box somebody, if you asked the trainer, he said, don't want to worry about that. You're the boxer. I'm the trainer. That's the end of it. So you didn't even know who was boxing.
How did that make you feel?
Just got on with it because that's how you was taught. You know, and that's really the same as how I taught Shelby when we would go to LA or Vegas and that. I said, listen, we're going in the gym. You just keep a blank face. Anybody says they're going to spar, just say yeah. You
Yeah.
don't ask how many. I'll look to see what the weight is.
That's
I said,
it,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? I'll look and go, okay, yeah, we'll have that and that. But I said, you don't say nothing.
So I was
Just
actually
give us
listening
blank
to you
face.
talk about this on your Seconds Out podcast. Interview. I believe it was before Shelby for Josh Warrington, obviously huge fighter. So you talk about this poker face.
Yes.
As taking the gym. So you're saying you take him to the Mayweather gym and Freddie Roach's gym.
Yes.
So you're kind of both sides of it, which I found
Yes.
quite funny. And yeah, poker face. Like you do how many rounds they want you to do. You know what I mean, don't give yourself any limitations. You make it out like you're invincible. Poker face. You work until they say they're done. Do you know what I mean?
He's a quite fit lad, I take it, Andrew Shelby, to just get in.
Andrew and Lee Shelby, they were both very
They were both
fit,
very fit, yeah,
both
Andy,
very
sorry.
skillful. And, both strong mentally, yes.
And then how did that make them feel? Just want to go? Were they like wanted to go in that environment? Were they
Yeah,
keen?
it's the challenge, you know what I mean? And it's the closest thing to an actual contest. Just getting you used to that fear, and yeah.
That must have been amazing for them to go out and go get that sparring. though.
Yeah, we went over there a lot, you know.
Okay, sweet. And let's try to keep it chronological. So yeah, going back to your amateur days, what do you think was your biggest accomplishment as an amateur boxer?
I would say represented England, of course. I boxed for England
3 times, was it?
3 consecutive times. I beat Sylvester Mitty in the ABA semi-finals at Bellevue Stadium. That was live on Sports Night in 1977. Sylvie was the 1976 Olympic representative. So, that was a massive win. Harry Carpenter was the commentator. And, it was a real big upset. And, I'm good friends with Sylvie.
Yeah. Well, what weight did you box at?
I boxed it
As an amateur?
light welter. As an amateur, 10 stone, 63.5 now.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same as us. Pretty much what we box at. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you boxed for England 3 times.
Yes.
Which countries were they against?
I boxed Ireland, boxed in Dublin. I boxed Romania. I boxed Kalistrat Kutov, he was the European champion.
Wow.
I got stopped on a cut eye. It was very controversial. And I was coming back into the contest. And the third one was Tommy McCallum, Scotland. Boxed him, and again, that was live on Sports Night as well.
What was the toughest one
BBC.
out of the 3? If you could.
Well, Kalistrat Kudov was the toughest, He was a grown man, European champion, was throwing bolo punches I'd never seen before. And, and that was at Liverpool Stadium. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So I boxed in a lot of the stadium. I boxed at Liverpool Stadium. I boxed at Bellevue Stadium, and I boxed at Manor Place Baths. As an amateur, so they were famous venues.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so you both have good venues, but the most impressive one I feel is the ABA finals. For you to get up to that level, how long were you? Because you started boxing when you were 18, and there was no under 10s, under 20s, none of that back then, was there? There was just ABAs. You go straight in there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And there wasn't no novice champion. You just went in.
Of course, there's not categories like that. You just fight whoever you can get.
Twice or even 3 times on the same day.
Yeah.
In the dibs, but but the ABAs was good. That was at Wembley Arena. I boxed the night before the cup final. So they would have Wembley Arena.
Okay.
And the next day would be the cup final.
Oh, so you had a warm up.
They was sold out in those
Wow.
days. Wembley Arena was sold out. Yeah.
And how many years after you? So you started boxing when you were 18. When did you reach the ABA finals?
I was 21 then. I had a year out. I was injured. I think I broke my ankle or So, yeah, I broke my ankle.
So literally 2 years, you would say, in training.
Yeah, it might have been 3. Yeah.
That is 3
Yeah.
years. That is still people like their whole careers to get to an ABA final, and
Yes.
you did it in a couple of years.
Yes.
Amazing. And like
pretty
you're
special.
saying, like all these crazy stadiums, all these venues.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about some of the places you boxed at as a pro. 'Cause I know you boxed all over the world, including Australia. Just name drop a few of the places you
Yeah, I
boxed.
boxed in France, Italy, Zimbabwe. I boxed in Zambia twice, Lusaka, and then I boxed in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, saw them all. What was your favourite fight on the road? So obviously, when you're on the road, sometimes you can be an underdog. Sometimes you can be brought in to lose. What was your favourite experience on the road?
I would say in Dunkirk when I boxed Frank. Who did I box? I don't know who I boxed, but
It was a good fight.
yeah, he was like 22-1. Maputo. I don't know. I'll have to have a look it up.
You had a lot of fights, didn't you? You had 31
normally
pro
I
fights.
can reel them all off. I can't.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I just can't think who I. But I stopped him, and the guy got tired of hitting me. You know, I think I stopped him in 3 or 4. Dan Maputo. Yeah, Dan Maputo. I boxed. Yeah, over there. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was 22-1, something like that. you know.
What made you turn from professional to amateur to pro?
I was always going to be a professional boxer from the first day I went into the gym.
You wanted to be a professional
I wanted
athlete
to
straight away.
be, yes.
And how was your lifestyle regarding that? You know, obviously you see a lot now, like nutrition, but back then people can get away with a lot more. How was your lifestyle? Were you very dedicated? Because you come from that footballing background as well, don't you?
Yeah. Well, sadly, my lifestyle was the opposite to how my boxers are now. You know, I was a binge drinker. Still, you know, all my friends, we were in the pubs from like 14 years of age, and that was a problem with me. Alcohol.
And sorry, Joe, how did you overcome that in your sort of life?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really overcome it whilst I was boxing, and it wasn't until I was 35 that I managed to, kick the addiction.
And how did you kick that addiction?
I think I was just, I feel that I underachieved as a boxer, and it was very difficult. Then it was up in London, and I came back to Bristol, and feeling that you'd underachieved, it was like, now they just say it's mental health and that, but naturally in those days they didn't have it. I think I suffered from PTSD as well. Like just the fights, just everything, the lifestyle of being in London and everyone sort of knowing you and that, and then sort of coming back here was very, very, very difficult, And also I'd knocked all my dough out, so that was difficult as well. So and then the dream, because when you're a boxer, you always dream about the success, the money, the lifestyle, and while you're boxing, you've still got that dream. You still think that you can turn it around with one punch.
Did you prefer your amateur days or your pro days?
Yeah, did you prefer your amateur or you prefer...
No, I loved it all. I didn't really think much difference between amateur and professional. I just thought that I had to win at all costs. I just loved it so much, and that's what I can't understand why I kept drinking all the time, but I just did. And a lot of my friends still do. It's maybe just something I think footballers did. Even the top fighters boxed. Chris Finnegan, Kevin Finnegan. They were big drinkers. And it was the lifestyle. I mean, the only one I can think of is Ricky Hatton in this era. But
Okay,
He
so-
was pretty amazing, wasn't he? How he managed to balance his.
But he did all that, and then he came back after all that, and he's actually having an exhibition fight.
Yes.
He's training for that now. He's an amazing
Yeah,
shape.
what Ricky Hatton was amazing, but could you imagine how good he could have been if he didn't?
Do you think that affected his career?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think he could have been just unbelievable. You know, I mean, when he boxed Costa Zoo,
What a
he
win.
could have beaten anybody that night. And
Yeah, I was actually watching his fight with Mayweather again just the other night, and yeah, it was even on the scorecards with Floyd Mayweather. Do you know what I mean? Like, who else does that? He so nearly dropped him with his signature screw shot in the first round. He made him proper stumble, and people don't do that to Floyd. And he was just working and working. So if he didn't suffer with the drug and alcohol abuse, who knows where he could have gone. So as you were saying, so as you struggled with alcohol abuse and PTSD, is that an inspiration to work with Empire and help kids with their mental health in this generation?
oh, without a doubt, you know, to put back, you know, to help. I'm with the church at 85 here at Elam Pentecostal. You know, we have a street church, and lots of them are like, you know, when they come, you know, the homeless and that, we help them, and a lot of the young guys say, I'm going to come to the gym next week, Chris. I'm going to come. I said, you must come, and you know, and 9 out of 10, well, I'd say 99 out of 100, they never come, but sometimes it just gives them that thought. It's a warm thought that they've got.
Someone cares for them. Someone's thinking of them.
Yeah, come to the gym, you know, and sometimes you get the stories when they come and say, oh, yeah, I was over in Broad Plain, or I was here, I was at Kingswood Boxing Club when they were young, and then you look at them and you think, you know, how have they got to this situation? But it can happen.
Happen to anyone.
It happen to anyone, and then you'll see someone come in, and you look at them, and you know, sometimes you can be prejudiced and judgmental, and then as they talk, they're so well spoken. You think, wow, what's going on here? You know, and yeah.
Is that something you can, obviously, just going back to your days, and is that something you can relate to? Because you did say that you were broke at some point.
Yeah.
And if things didn't change for you, that's potentially, it can happen to anyone really, but you've actually been there. Is that something that you can relate to yourself?
Yeah, without a doubt. And when I sort of may talk to some people, I said, listen, it hasn't always been rosy for me. You know, I said, you know, it's been tough. And once they realised that I come from here, the eastern area, and you know, naturally a lot of them say, oh yeah, you know, and then I can see them whisper, and then they look at me in a different light. You know? Yeah.
Okay. So just staying on this theme of mental health for a minute. So going back to your pro career, when you said you reached your highest point of your high career, you said was winning the Southern Area title, huge achievement. Did you experience somewhat the experience that Tyson Fury had once he reached his highest height? What do I do now? Like that kind of pressure is like, what are my goals? Did you experience anything similar?
Well, no. For one thing, I don't think I should compare myself with Tyson.
Yeah. Take it as a compliment.
Yeah, I take it as a compliment. But without, you know, maybe the drinking and the lifestyle can be the same, you know, because you can only drink so much, no matter how much money you've got. But and also, you know, when you are boxing, regardless of whether it's a world title or it's a Southern Area title, you're putting everything that you've got into to win. There is no more, you know. So you know it does mean everything to you, you know. Winning, victory, and defeat. You know, they're just opposites. You know, and you see one man, you know, he's got the world, and the other one is devastated. You know, and sometimes it takes a lot to come back from them them defeats.
Hey, how did you deal with you? Obviously, you had 11 defeats, I believe, in your pro career.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey, how did you come back from your defeats and come back?
Yeah, it was just difficult, very difficult, but you just got to, it's like about falling off the horse and getting back on it, and again, it's just having that belief that one punch can turn everything around, one win. And that's what it was like in those days, that you had hard fights, and one win, bump, that's it, you're back in it again,
It's more managed nowadays, isn't it?
Yes.
And you would know that being a manager.
That's right, yeah.
Lovely transition.
That's right.
Yeah, no. So you said your highest victory was your Southern Area title fight.
Yes.
In that. And what age did you sort of step away from professional boxing? When did you say that's...
I think I was young. I was 28.
28?
28.
Wow.
Yes, February 84. Yeah.
And what was the reason to say I'm hanging up the gloves?
I'd sort of just come to the end of it then. I was out drinking. I had an acrimonious split with my son's mother, Jamie, and after that, I wasn't the same person.
Yeah, no, I see. Like,
Look, sorry, no. What was different? What is it that changed?
Well, it just wasn't the same. I just
motivation?
the heart had taken it of me.
From the split and stuff.
Yeah, no, I get you. You can be very hard to motivate yourself.
I had lots of hard fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially back in
travelled
those
around the
days.
world to have your fight.
More fighting, less boxing back in those. And then you said yourself in your Sky Sports interview that you like to fight more than you probably should have boxed back in your fight.
That's right. I mean, I teach
got
all my
able-
boxers to
yeah.
box, beautiful boxing, and that's it. And then sometimes when I boxed, when I had to box a fighter, I would box, and at times it would make it relatively easy. But sadly, it didn't feel enough for me. I wanted to fight.
Having a fight. I guess
wanted to
just
fight.
build up of aggression and stuff.
Yeah.
You want to get out of there, right?
Just go, man, just punch for punch. Right, let's give the crowd a show. Let's just stay in range. Let's just go for it.
But you must have been a good boxer to get to an ABA final in 2 or 3 years, to box for England a couple of times. You must have had that ability, but there's something inside of you that wanted to have a scrap.
Yes, I had the ability, and that's why I kicked myself, and it was just craziness.
What did you do after? Obviously, you left boxing at 28, or you stopped professional boxing at 28. What did you have a break from boxing? Did you go into management or promoting after that?
I came back to Bristol. I was working the markets. I'd always worked the markets. I've always been
salesman.
A good grafter.
Yeah, gifts of the gab.
Yeah, it's thing. I was at the fruit market here in Bristol, Eastville Market. We used to do the summer run and the summer holidays all the way down the coast. And then when I went to London, I did the same thing. I worked in the market, so Lever Lane, Scotland Grand, East Street, Chapel Market, where I had a pitch. I had a barrel there for 14 years.
Wow.
And so that thing, I still have a flat there in the Angel, Islington, and I'm very, very connected with Islington.
Is that
North London? Yeah.
Islington Boxing Club, they've obviously got down there as well. They've got a few boxing clubs down there. Dale Youth as well.
Yeah, in those days I was more aligned to St Pancras, Repton, and also Finchley Boxing Club. They just had a new building.
Yeah, where Joshua obviously trained as an amateur.
Yeah, this was a long time before then.
Yeah, and our friend Alex as well.
Spencer Oliver's father and John Oliver, they had the club. Yeah.
Spencer Oliver and his dad owned that club.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
At the Finchley, yes. Mickey McCarthy he was the chairman. I think, yeah.
Mickey McCarthy.
Then he was the chairman also down at St Pancras. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so
I used to know a lot of the amateurs, like Steve Hoyer. With Westminster and Belsides and Keys, Sparrow Harrison. Yeah. So, it's very popular with the amateurs as well. I was very personal friends with Bill Cox, Tony Burns, and then Ronnie Smith at St Pancras. Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you get an amazing insight on your pro career and the events of that. So obviously you went into managing after, and obviously that Sanigar events, which may I say is kind of got a monopoly on kind of West Country boxing, to be honest. So why don't you just tell us a little about how Sanigar events kind of got started?
Well, but I came back. First boxer that I signed was Paul Moylett from South Bristol.
Southbridge, yeah.
He had a big following, and he was a former England international. Paul boxed. I think he had his first fight with me. He went over to Finland and won. Sort of those things were unheard of. Taking chances, looking at studying it, and letting him go over there to Finland, and he won. He didn't have many fights, sadly, but fitness fanatic, got his own gym and that, and he's got a big following over there in South Bristol. Very popular guy. Then the next one, really sort of simultaneously, was Rossell. Ross boxed for the Kingswood Boxing Club, and then he came down here training at the Empire with us as a pro, and he became British and Commonwealth champion, beat Andy Holligan here at the Coasting Hall in '94. We had a sellout crowd, and Andy Holligan, he'd boxed Chavez the fight before. Wow. Yes. Okay,
you've had fighters that have done it all, and then the two in particular that I really want to talk about is Lee Haskins and Glenn Catley. You had these lads, 14-year-old amateurs. So can you just best describe the process of having a 14-year-old lad amateur and taking them all the way to be world champion?
Did you see potential in them, I guess, from the start?
Yeah. It's Glenn Catley. Glenn Catley, as a young boy, was exceptionally strong, very dedicated, and at that time we had some very good amateur boxers here. We had Adrian Stone, Glenn Catley. There was Darren Thompson, who may have been the better out of all of them, but sadly he didn't go professional. So they bit by bit, you watch them box as a junior, schoolboy junior, and then become thing. I think both of them got to ABI finals. And both they've done very, very well. And then as a pro,
world champ.
Yeah, but
they went through the process, I guess, as well. Yeah.
Yes, it was very sad to lose Adrian Stone. Adrian Stone went to America. He lost his mother, and then went over to see his uncle in the States, and then just stayed over there. And so we lost Adrian. It was like heart-wrenching. It's been nothing.
There's that connection that you build with the fighters as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. But and then later on, Adrian come back and boxed with us at the end of his career. But yes, so it was sad that we said, but Adrian Stone had a fabulous career, over there in the States. And Glenn Catley, he was amazingly strong, determined, and punch with either hand, and just very, very exciting. And he had a few losses, shock losses, and and then they had some shock wins that made him so excited.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get.
And if he
Always
was
be right
around
then.
now, my goodness, you know, I mean, he'd be he'd be one of those elite boxers.
Sweet. And can I ask, so for those two, so Haskin and Catley, so when they were just, 14-year-olds, do you think, wow, these kids are so talented, I think they can go very, very far, or was it just their hard work and discipline that got them to where they are, do you think?
I think it's just a part of everything, their discipline and dedication, and then also manoeuvring them and leading them. But I always, when I seen, Catley, Stone, Haskins, all the boys, you know what I mean? I just think of them like how I thought of my career, as I thought I could be anybody, and I just sort of looked to the highest pinnacle all the time, and I would continue that dream in them. But I matched them better than I matched myself. I would say yes to everything, whereas
but to be fair, they would probably say yes to everything. But that's where, as a manager, comes in.
Manager,
yeah, so that's why I don't tell them the no's.
Yeah.
I only tell them the fights that we're going to say yes to. The ones we say no to,
they don't even know.
They don't.
I guess that trust that you have between a fighter, manager, trainer.
Yes.
How important would you say that is?
Oh, it's very, very important, and
Personal connection.
Connection, and also you're going out to ask that man to go out there and fight for his life. You know what I mean? And I'm a great believer in that. If you haven't done it yourself, at least they can look you in the eye when you're telling them, get over there and grit your teeth. You know what I mean? Get over there and that they know that you've done it. You've had to do it yourself. But, and we joke, little things, even in defeat, just say, look, we've all had it. We've all been knocked out. You know what I mean?
Relate to it.
I've had it, you've had it, he's had, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Ali, they've all had it,
Just
this
normalises it.
Yeah.
It helps them deal with it.
Of course it does, yeah.
And having someone who's not been through that, but been in the ring, knows how it feels to come out winning and losing, you can relate to him, as you said.
Yes.
Which is
really not all managers, former boxers, not all of them.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that definitely helps with the trust for the fighters too, Chris. So let's talk about Sanigar events. Do you have an event lined up for your next one?
Our next one, I should imagine, will be. They would sort of work simultaneously. They're more or less at the same time. We'll have a BBC show, Wales in South Wales, and we'll have a Bristol show at the galleries.
Nice.
You know what I mean? But like with Sanigar events, I work very closely with my son Jamie.
Yeah.
He's the brains on in the firm, and
you're the brawn.
I'm the brawn.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Yeah, I remember for like one of the more recent ones. Posters everywhere, Sanigar events everywhere. My friends were actually boxing takeover there. They love the card. Lee Haskins' son, the Joker they call him.
Oh really?
Anton, he boxed in, green air for it. 5-0
Did
now.
you coach him as well? Lee Haskins' son?
Yes, well, I think, and naturally we had Lee Haskins from a 14-year-old lad, and he did it. If you told him to throw a left jab, he'd throw a right hook.
Stubborn.
Okay. He was just crazy, But he was a winner. He punched very, very hard, and
Lee Haskins did.
Yes, Haskins punched very, very hard.
What weight was it? 50?
Well, then he was like flyweight.
Yeah, world champ eventually.
Yeah, super fly.
He had about 31 wins?
Yes, he boxed, and Yeah, I mean, he was British champion, Commonwealth champion, European champion twice, and then become IBF bantamweight champion.
I remember, you probably won't like this, and Lee Haskins seeing this, no disrespect. I remember seeing him on a Sky Sports show once. And I think the fight was rewarded a draw.
Sorry?
It was a draw between the two fighters. Was that one?
No, not Haskins. No, Lee never had a draw.
Or it was two counter punches.
Oh, okay.
Just holding off. It was very much holding off, and one punch, and then the referee's like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
It's one of those fights. But he was a counter puncher. He's not similar to me. I was a counter puncher.
Yes. Yeah. Lee had a couple of contests where that wasn't so entertaining, and then he had Fight of the Year, European Fight of the Year.
I remember that
when he went over there, went to Belgium. So it just takes two to tango.
Stars make fights.
Yeah, you got to gel.
And when he knocked out Iwasa for the IBF, that was like the interim title. I mean, when he hit him, he'd have knocked anybody out. Yeah.
So he's a big
punched very, very hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have you been to his gym, round one?
No, I haven't. I tried to find it. I
out.
couldn't find it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like near kind of like Barton Hill area.
Yes, yeah. So I did try and go round to see him. I needed to talk to him, and there's murder on the phone, and so I did go round and have a look at it, and I just couldn't find it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, literally, like, we've been speaking to Lee. Like, he's unavailable this weekend, but we'll definitely try film with him coming up. Because I see on the videos from the set, they got like these LED lights in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, and it's kind of like a nightclub gym. It's a bit different.
Really?
Yeah, literally. So
I think gyms are going towards that now, aren't they? Gyms are becoming a lot more.
Our friend like Jade Barker, she coaches in pretty much a nightclub gym. It's kind of a reinvention of combat sports gyms recently. It's just a whole new marketing idea. Get your night out and your exercise in one.
Yeah. So saying new ideas and stuff, I saw earlier before we were in this room, you had the Empire State boxing. Is that right?
Yeah. The Empire. We got the amateur club here. Yes.
Got the amateur, and I noticed you do a lot of things with them as well. Do you want to explain a little bit more about what they do and what they entail?
Okay, so we got the charity.
Yep,
we got Empire Fighting Chance.
Yep.
The charity. I'm an ambassador for the charity. Martin Bisp and my son Jamie Sanigar are the co-founders, and really, what basically it's using the boxing as a hook for the kids. They do well at school, and then they can come here boxing. And really, it's just sort of taking it to next levels. We deal with a lot of the children that are excluded from school, and that then the people there. I think we may employ about 30 full-time staff.
Wow.
It's a big concern. I know that they go into South Wales. They're helping now with England boxing. It just goes on and become a monster. Far beyond what I could conceive.
Wow.
So then basically it's a lot easier to build strong children than men broken adults.
Right.
So
Yeah, exactly. You're still in developmental stages.
Yes.
When you're teenager, etc. So when we were here setting up, there was a session going on here. With some teenage lads, we were getting some training, and so what they do is they do like counselling during a boxing session, which is quite unique and I think quite effective. They were explaining it. If you get a teenage lad, say he's been excluded from school, in a room trying to talk about his feelings, like just therapy, you might not be as receptive to that. If you show them some cool boxing, learn a cool skill, obviously get that bond with their counsellor, then of course they want to open up to you more. And it's such a different environment to a therapist's office. I really preach that. Like, I think that's a very unique and effective way of helping you.
Yeah, without a doubt. And now, at the beginning with the charity, we had sort of boxing trainers. Really, now they're more boxing mentors. rather than ex-boxers.
It's a new area, isn't it? It's an area that certainly boxing can add so much to people's lives. Like
Yes.
with myself, it helped provide confidence and belief that we can go and do something.
Yes.
Good. And I think it can help people come over whatever mental barriers or whatever that they could be going through.
Yeah, so we have junior sessions here. We have like an hour session, 4:15 to 5:15, 5:15 to 6:15. We have that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and there for non-contact classes, they just come in and that, and then the ones that want to continue it and go up a level can then join the Empire Amateur Boxing Club. So they're not it's not pushed on them, you know.
It's there if they want it, but no pressure.
No, because sometimes parents can pressure the children into going to the the club, you know, and then it can be off-putting because naturally then they're sparring that. It's like, oh my goodness.
And then kind of on that, can I ask, what was it like having your son Jamie? Because you yourself as a coach boxer, like, yeah, did you want him to be a boxer? Did you want him to be involved, or did you just like let him be involved if he wanted to? Was it down to him?
Yeah, no, I didn't actually want him to be a boxer.
So you've been hit in the head. It's like, yeah, that hurts. I did that, so you don't have to do that.
It's too hard.
Yeah.
Boxing's too hard.
You gotta have a why.
I got two sons.
Oh, okay.
I got two sons. I got Jamie and Albie, and a daughter, and none of them box.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Did you stop them? But you see a lot of that father-son sort of coming in. You see the Eubank, Conor Ben coming in.
Yes.
Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah,
See a lot of that coming in now. Did you not want them to box at all? Or was it just that they didn't find the passion for it?
I didn't really want them to box. No, I think I'd be like but no.
My dad was the same.
Both my both the boys went to private school. They're both mega intelligent.
Good.
You know what I mean? And
Use the brain, not the fist.
That's it. That's it. You know.
As you said, when you were 28, you moved away from boxing. What did you do after that?
I was back in the markets, and I've earned fabulous money.
From the markets?
Oh yeah, I earned fabulous money in the markets. Yeah.
What sort of things did you sell? It wasn't from fruit and veg, was it?
Yeah.
Well, when I was younger, we did the fruit and veg. When I was in London, I had a wholesalers as well. I had a 4-story building. I had a ring in Great Eastern Street. And I had the pitch at Chapel Market. I had that for 14 years.
Wow. So you always had the business mind.
Yeah. It's always the thing. I supplied a lot of people down here, the markets. I supplied them. I had a 10-ton lorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was boxing more of a, because you're doing all these things on the side, you had your business, was boxing always a side thing for you?
No, it was just my life, and I just worked too hard. I just drank too much, I worked too hard, and I didn't put enough time into the boxing. I just thought it would evolve, but I sort of really forgot why I went to London. I went to London to be a boxer, and then I got involved with the markets, the thing. I just was earning so much money.
It's hard to turn down.
With the markets, the volume of people. When you went to London and when you were serving up. And then I would come back here with the different lines that they hadn't seen. And
that was so. Now you look back, obviously you earning money then.
Yes.
This is just hindsight.
Yeah.
Would you say the money or the glory was more important to you?
Good question.
Well, I think that they were sort of. I wasn't really thinking of the money with the boxing. It was more the glory. Naturally, because of the boxing, I was very popular in the markets and serving.
So it kind of goes hand in hand to it.
Yeah, it was just the lifestyle, and again, out drinking as well was popular, and just everything. It was just, just like ran. Everything was just full on.
Do you think that's part of the reason why you were drinking is because you had so much stress. You had this whole fruit business and your boxing career. You're so stressed out. That was the only kind of stress relief.
I think we just all did it. Everyone
did it.
Everyone done it.
Yeah, just normalised,
you work on the pitch all day and then straight in the pub on the night. And
It becomes a circle, doesn't it? It
Yes.
just becomes a circle.
Yeah, that's it. And your association of who you associate. Just what I tell my boxers. I advise anybody. That it should who you associate, male or female. People can pull you down.
Yeah, they can influence
without knowing it, and Yeah.
Hey, how can you know the steps that people, if they're pulling you down? I guess, how did you realise that?
Well,
the fatal steps.
Only now do I realise I was out of control from 14 to 35.
Really?
Just out of control, and I'm very, very fortunate to have people that close people that have loved me throughout. And I think, and it's only now that I think, how did they continue to love me after I was behaving like this,
20 years,
behaving like that, and like Jamie, he doesn't understand how I'm so tolerant with people that let us down, they double cross us, they do that, they do that,
and that's because people were tolerant with you.
Yes.
Is that in boxing or is that just generally in life, would you say?
I think it could be in life, but I think boxing, it shows more in boxing.
Well, why do you think that is? Loads of people say that about boxing. Why do you think that is?
Because I think we are very selfish, boxing. I think all sportsmen, to actually get to the very top of your profession, you are selfish, and there's a saying, nice guys come last, and you with the boxing, you're fighting for your life. Like there's bread on the table. What I mean? One's going to go on, and the other one is going to go like that.
Right.
And that's really how it is. Kill or be killed.
Okay. So let's move on to back to Sanigar events and kind of modern Sanigar events. So why don't you just name drop a few of your current fighters that you're really excited about and just that you think will really be going places? Let the people know.
Okay. Well, I'll start over there in Wales. Okay. Over there, naturally we've had Lee Shelby, Andrew Shelby,
and his brother. Yeah.
And I'm still very, very sore about a boy called Matthew Edmonds. He was one punch away from winning the bantamweight title.
World title?
No, British title.
Oh, British title.
You know what I mean? He just one punch away, and then just walked into a shop.
No.
Yeah.
It's boxing.
That's boxing, And so that thing, he was a massive prospect at the time, and that. But the ones we got now.
Aaron Sutton, for example.
Well, no, in Wales, we've got Josh John. I think very highly of him. There's a young boy, Nathan Howells. He's only had a few contests, but again, he can be a good prospect as well. And then we just had a couple of Welsh champions. We had Lloyd Germain, and Tony Dixon also had a massive win over in Italy, a one round knockout. So we got some good boys over there in South Wales. Here in Bristol, Aaron Sutton's is probably the leader of the pack. I got Pavel August from Taunton.
Yeah, I know.
So those two are like that.
They're both 14 and 0.
What weight are they?
One's a middleweight, and the other, Aaron Sutton's a middleweight, and
Southern County champion.
And Pavel is a light heavyweight. Although I feel that as we go up the levels, he may come down to super middle. Okay.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I've seen those two spar. They usually get those two together quite a lot, and then sometimes I see like Aaron, so he'll stay in the ring they'll get all the amateurs to fight him. Like the one in, one out. He'll just stay in there all day, and then they'll get like August and the pros to fight him after he's gassed. Sparring all the amateurs, and then fight the big pros.
Yeah, but that's good. That's how to condition yourself mentally and physically.
Yeah.
But
Like you was talking about poker face.
Yeah.
But I'll do as many rounds as you want. Okay, you say when we're done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And what other talents were you saying?
Sorry.
What other talents did you say from them?
Got two novices, two heavyweight novices, Isaac Lee and Drew Wedlake. They're heavyweights. You know what I mean? So that would be a dream to get a British heavyweight champion. You know, and again, they're both novices, and to be able to take them from zero right to a British champion.
The British heavyweight scene's on fire at the moment, isn't it?
Without a doubt.
First time in a while, it's really popping.
Yeah, we have Anton Haskins. You know, if we can do the same with what we've done with Lee.
Yeah, he's 5-0.
That'd be history, wouldn't it?
That'd be an amazing journey. Yes.
Look, what happened to? I'm pretty sure this was one of your fights, Fred Evans.
Fred Evans over there in South Wales.
Is he? Because he won the silver at the.
He won the silver in the Olympics, but he just never really, just couldn't train at that level. Naturally, when they're married, they have young children. They have lots of responsibilities.
So the hours,
and they're working. They're good money getters. A lot of the travelling boys, and it is difficult.
Okay, so he come from a travelling background.
Yes, yeah.
Was he a big?
Traveller.
Yeah, was he a big talent? Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, he was very talented. Very talented. Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, no, and like you're always getting new fighters coming through. I saw you signed a new fighter only about a week ago.
So Logan Dorrington, we signed him. That's Darren Dorrington's son.
Right.
Darren Dorrington was a massive favourite and ticket seller here. Very, very tough man. And now we've got his son. I think so. So maybe the next card will have two of the sons, Anton Haskins and Logan Dorrington.
Yeah. New generation.
Yeah, like new generation. And it's a good reference when you've managed the dad, and then they bring the son to you. So and that's what I like to think. We try and be fair, and we're all close. And if we have a defeat, it's like a funeral here in the gym.
So win together, lose together.
Yeah, if we lose on points, but if we have a KO loss, that is like a funeral. Yeah.
Would you say it's very much team environment around here then?
But I've always encouraged the team environment. I do so in South Wales as well.
Have you got a gym in South Wales as well?
Tony Borg has got St Joseph's, and we work a lot in there. A lot of my boxers are there, and we're very close. Tony and Borg and I, we've worked with each other since 2006. Went to the Commonwealth Games over there in Melbourne, and then I signed a few of the boxers, and we've worked since then.
So are you still training fighters, or is it more managing, promoting fighters?
I oversee a lot of the training here. My old trainer Alan Thompson, he's the gym manager here, so he looks after a lot of the training, and. I mean Lee Haskins as well. I'm hoping that he'll eventually come back and help train the pros as well.
With his experience is invaluable, isn't it?
Yes.
Someone who's reached the top of the game and been there and done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
he put on a show just a week or two ago for his white collar fighters as well. So he's doing really well in the white collar scene. But I think he'd like to be more involved. with your pros.
Okay, you will have to cut that out.
Okay, cool.
You have to cut that out.
To cut that out, Radu.
The white collar scene.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we don't want to
be involved with
we don't want to be involved. Yeah.
Sure.
Right,
yeah, you heard that, Radu. Cut that out, please. Thank you.
Yeah, get Haskins in trouble.
Yeah, sweet. We've run over quite a bit, but I've got one question in particular I'd like to ask you. So coming back to Radu. So Chris, you've been boxing a very long time. Who is your number one boxing idol and inspiration?
Oh, okay.
Well, naturally, when I was training, it was John Conte.
Yeah.
You know, it was John Conte, and Bose Edwards, Cornelius Bose Edwards. He become super featherweight champion, WBC super featherweight champion. Yeah, he was unbelievable. I was his main sparring partner for most of the career. So those were my two. And then also quite the opposites, because I loved Dave Green and I loved John Stracey. So when they boxed, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah,
So you
conflicted.
don't
But they're, you know, again, both great guys, you know what I mean? Both great guys. Dave Green, just all out aggression, and John Stracey, you know, absolute technician. But, you know, in those days, you know, I think maybe we just had a different, or it may have just been me. I have a great respect for boxers, you know, at any level. And, you know, I just have this respect for them. I don't know why, but, you know, and when I boxed, you know, when I was boxing, there was Charlie Magri, Frank Bruno, Morris Hope, Jimmy Batten, just so many.
There were quite a lot of British fighters.
Great boxers in yeah.
Did you train with these guys? I take it as well. Frank?
Yeah. When I trained at the Wellington at Highgate, I trained with John Conte, Bunny Johnson, Lottie Mwali, John McGarvey, Bunny Sterling, Bose Edwards, Clinton McKenzie, Kirtland Lang, Dennis Andrews, Henry Riney, you know, just watch out. And then also Canning Town was like the rival sort of gym.
Yeah,
but I don't know why, but I was all friendly with all of them as well.
It's the market trade, John. It's the market trade, did it?
Yeah.
They probably got their fruit off you.
Mickey Duff, you know,
Mickey Duff, yeah.
Mickey Duff,
Yeah.
Mike Barrett. They took to me, and I would be very friendly with all of them over at Canada.
Yeah, it's all
like,
connections.
Tracy, all of them. You know?
Did you sell them fruit?
No, I didn't sell them fruit and
You should pull up to all the different gyms.
yeah.
Like, I got whatever you need.
That's right. And then you know, later I had a close association with Frank Warren. He was, you know, he was an Islington boy, like through and through. You know.
How was he to work with Frank Warren?
Frank Warren, you know, we had amazing times. I had amazing times with him in the 90s. Sort of 95 to 99, and they were great times, and you know, we chose to part our ways, and you know, I think you know, lots of times I think, well, if I had stayed, I'd have done better, and likewise, you know, it might have been better for Frank if I'd stayed, but you know, sadly, it didn't happen. You get these times when having, you know, gay
Conflicts happened, don't they?
Yeah, with just a little
Yeah,
conflict with Glenn Catley. I wanted him to box for the WBC title rather than box Joe Kelsaki for the WBO, and you know, like Frank wanted that, and with Frank Warren, you know,
You want to protect that, yeah.
it's his way or no way.
Really?
Well, it was when he was younger.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
when he was
Yeah,
younger.
Frank's a very
But-
interesting character.
But you know, and like as I said, they were fabulous times. You know, there were all those shows up in Manchester with Nigel Benn, Prince Nazim Hamid. Well, we had Hamid all the Hamid boxed here down in Shepton Mallet.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
his first main.
How was he as a
top
fighter?
liner? That was on Sky, and yeah,
Performer.
yes, yeah.
Loves the camera on him. Loves
Yes,
the camera.
yeah, the Prince, he was amazing. Watching him come through all the way through. You know, I've been very, very fortunate to be associated and on a professional level, and then a lot of boxers on just a very friendly level. Yeah.
And how about Eddie Hearn? Have you worked much with Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, Barry first of all.
Oh, Barry, of course, yeah.
Barry Hearn, just an absolute genius, and what he's done with sport, and and Eddie's good, and he brought Lee Selby through, and I think that may have been his first world champion.
And then Aaron Sutton was going to fight on the DAZN card recently if he didn't have that injury. So there's still that working relationship with DAZN,
without a doubt, yes. And I had a boy just boxed on the DAZN show, Joe Morgan, who was a very good talent. He's only a young lad. I think now he's 4-0, and he boxed, and they tell me that Eddie was quite impressed. So hopefully he'll be on the next Welsh DAZN show.
Yeah, keep packing them out. Like I said, we've overrun a little bit. Do you have any last big question you want to ask?
I do. I wanted to ask you quick fire questions if it's all right with you.
Oh, the quick fire round.
Quick fire round. So this is, unfortunately, the first one was already asked, but you said I'm going to go through it anyway. So first of all, your biggest inspiration.
My biggest
number one, just one.
Inspiration. I would say with John Conte.
John Conte?
Being in the gym
as an inspiration, John Conte.
Okay. Favourite fighter of all time?
That's changed. Okay, because it used to be when I was boxing, and the thing was Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then
Stone.
And now it's changed to Sugar Ray Leonard. To see
people appreciate him more.
Two rivals.
The two rivals, and I think when they were boxing, I think I wanted Duran to win, but as I got older and I realised the talents that Sugar Ray Leonard had.
Yeah, those feet, man.
And also I've met him on a couple of occasions and listened to him, and he, the way he went about it, everything overwhelming like Duran and the thing, Hearns. I just kept his cool and bump.
He don't get overwhelmed. No. Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
But that's something to say
knowing
about
that he had to go out and do Tommy Hearns in the last round.
Exactly, in front of the world. And he just walks into that ring with swagger.
And when you look at him, and if you're sat by him and you look at him, his hands are like piano. He's got fingers like piano fingers.
Yeah.
And then you look at him and like, you think, well,
how is this guy such an amazing fighter? But it's the footwork, isn't it? Hand speed, everything he had really.
Hand speed,
footwork, everything.
Like he engages when he wants to engage. Like look when he fought Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Do you know what I mean? He'd throw his combinations, he'd land, and then he'd just circle. I've won this round. Why would I get hit in the face more? Do you know what I mean? He decides.
Exactly.
Right, next one.
Favorite fighter you have managed or trained? That's I had to
answer. That would be too difficult. I've enjoyed managing all of them actually. Trying to take them to their highest levels.
If you had to choose one,
I couldn't.
Because it's not okay.
Yeah, that's
choose one. I couldn't choose one. But naturally there would be between the three would be Glenn Catley, Lee Haskins, and Lee Selby. I suppose of all, I'm just close with them. It was just different. My age was different. I suppose I was much more with Lee Selby, the other two. But then, it's just the hours. Like I was with Lee Selby sort of on my own more, being in the States and
more personal,
and sort of seen him grow through his life from being a single guy to being married with children.
His life should.
So I sort of seen that. Not so much, the same with Glenn and Lee Haskins, but because they're Bristol boys, You know,
The Bristol Bonds.
Yeah.
Bristol Bonds.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with Lee Selby. You said Lee Selby.
No,
You said Lee Selby.
I'll have the other two trying to lynch me.
Yeah, no, fine job.
For our young listeners listening, and to anybody who's looking to get involved in boxing, best life advice you'd give them?
Just train and dedicate yourself, you know, and just try to be the best, whether it's in boxing or whatever trade you're in. You know, dedicate yourself and try to get to the top with it.
Just work hard on it. Perfect. Describe yourself in 2 words. I'll give you 1 or 3 words. Shall we go? If Max.
Emotional and enthusiastic.
Emotional and enthusiastic.
Nice.
And that's how it got to the top. Okay, amazing.
And you use those qualities to your advantage.
Favorite fight of all time? Boxing. Not any of the street fights or anything they've seen.
Yeah. I've got a few after.
Wow. The toughest fights I've seen are Cat Eaters in Graham Earl.
Yep.
Naturally, Nigel Benn.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah, and
What do you think of Marvin Hagler against Tommy Hearns?
Hagler and Hearns.
They say-
3 round. Yeah, 3 round.
Like that, yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen more action in 3 rounds than that.
And then,
Any like Muhammad Ali fights up there for you? Stuff with Tyson?
well, naturally, again, they were in different eras, you know,
Right,
like,
right.
And eras for me, you know, like, you know, naturally the Frazier, the Foreman, you know, I mean, and, you know, some of them heavyweight fights in those days, you know what I mean?
And there were more rounds back then.
Ron Lyle,
Yeah.
Ernie Shavers.
Ernie Shavers, yeah.
Yeah. What he was one of the hardest punchers not to become world
Ernie
champion. I
Shavers,
reckon. What a man.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned quite a few. You've got to pick one. Favorite fight of all time. On top of whichever one you think.
I suppose you go Hagler Hearns.
Hagler Hearns.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is a
popular
good
one.
man.
Popular one. For yourself, what do you look for in a fighter that you want to manage or you want to train?
Naturally, talent, discipline, determination.
And then what about qualities as a person? Like if you see, okay, this person's so easy to talk to, very respectful, that these type of qualities, like they're going to treat all my fighters with respect, they're going to add to the atmosphere. Is that something you try to consider?
Yeah, it's a massive thing because in the gym we have no swearing. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they very rarely swear in front of me. If they, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah, too scared to.
Listen, we all
Respect.
We all swear when we get upset. That's not a problem. You know what I mean? But I don't have anybody swearing in front of me in just normal.
It's just
And that's
another,
respect
element
yeah.
of discipline, right?
Yeah, just not in normal language. They go, oh, yeah. You know, and they know better to just swear in normal talking. You know?
Okay, perfect.
And also I think that becomes a good example for the kids. 'Cause
Yeah.
they don't hear it. You know,
That's true.
naturally-
They look at what olders
yeah,
do,
of course
right?
they do. If they hear someone,
Exactly.
an adult
They
swear,
pick it
go,
up,
I'll
yeah.
do that because, you know what I mean?
Makes me look harder or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
I
true.
was quite upset last night with the singer Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
You know, like she swore a few times where it was a fabulous performance and then she didn't have to.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
just
yeah,
a couple
yeah.
of throw the F word and throw it in a couple of
But
times.
so kids could be watching that, some be watching that, and they think it's
she
Yeah,
didn't
but
need
yeah.
to
Yeah.
because she was amazing.
yeah.
She just,
Yeah.
just tainted it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 3 more questions for you, but this is about future fights, potential fights that could happen. I want to get your sort of who do you reckon could win. So let's go Usyk, Joshua 2.
Well, I'm going to go for Joshua because
Joshua.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I don't really go against
Your Brits are alright.
No,
Yeah,
no,
perfect.
it's not my game.
Fair enough, I like that. I'll got one for you. Fury and Joshua, if it happens.
Yeah, both the British boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Brits. You know, I'm friendly with both.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You know, on form-wise, if your house depended on it, you'd have to go with Fury, wouldn't you?
On that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
A lot of people think that at the moment.
You think you could knock Joshua out?
Well, it's possible. The way he's been knocking everybody
Yeah,
else
he's on a bit of a
out.
streak at the moment.
Yes.
So the last two opponents, I mean, it's Wilder and Dillian White, two top fighters. So he's done it.
That's what his new trainer, like Sugar Hill, that's what we've been focused on. Like, he's always been on kind of this back foot, this boxer mover, and now with this new trainer, he's learning how to knock him out.
He's got fabulous timing.
Yeah. Do you reckon it's more to do with the coach, or do you reckon it's more to do with Fury?
He's a bit more
I would just
comfortable.
say, I would say both. You know, it's the time of your life. You're changing. Yeah,
That's true.
You
Okay,
know?
so it's a bit of both. Last question: Canelo v Triple G. Who do you think?
I go for Canelo.
You go for Canelo as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, no. So you saw the first two, as Joel said. Did you reckon he won the first?
Yeah, I think he nipped both the two. You know, I'm a big Canelo fan. I met him when he was very young.
Really?
Yeah, yes, and
Well, he's been pro since he's 15.
yes,
He's been out a long time.
we used to sell sweatsuits, the sauna suit sweatsuits, and he used to always wear them when
No
in the
way.
beginning. Yes.
Oh,
Fair
amazing.
play.
Yeah, I had numerous gloves signed as well by him.
Well, was he a talent back then? Could you notice something special in him?
Yeah, well, they were all telling me because I used to see him at the WBC conventions.
Yeah.
And you know, and he was there at the conventions, and they were all telling me how good he was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah,
now he's gone
many
on
more
and
years.
he trained up. I think what showed is his dedication.
Yes.
No boxing, no life.
Yeah, because he had that one loss against Mayweather,
Such
and he
a better
just
boxer
improved.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see how he bounced back from the Bivol loss. Obviously, we saw the press conference recently against Triple G.
Okay.
That's been done now, and he looks very determined.
Good.
I
So
think
we should see how he does.
Do you know what? I think he'll box better with that chip on his shoulder. Like, do you remember, after the Mayweather loss, he fought the Mexican fighter Angulo, I believe. Yeah, he just bullied him. He was so angry. Like, you know, he's getting all these questions about losing. And then at one point, he just lay on the ropes and he was like, throw it at me. Do you know what I mean? He was doing a shoulder roll. Back to him, I was like, yeah, no, he beat me with a shoulder roll. I can do it now. I'm a better fighter.
Yeah.
So I think that he'll do the Bibble fight will do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I think he'll learn so much.
Hopefully, man. Chris, just before we finish off, is there anything that you'd like to say before we finish off? The floor is yours.
Okay. Yeah, I would just like to say a big thank you to everybody that's helped me all the way through my boxing career, you know, and life in general. You know, there are just so many that people that have genuinely helped me. And, you know, I owe it to them and naturally my Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ.
And come join Bristol Boxing Gym as well. I'll just plug that for you. Yeah, just come join in. Like I say, yeah, if you've got teenagers, that it's just a good time for. But then there's counselling. Obviously, the amazing charity Empire. There's stuff for everyone here, man.
Yeah, man.
No matter who you are, you don't have to be experienced. They try and accommodate for everyone.
Amazing. Chris, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll keep in contact. We'll do something again in the future. Guys, thank you very much for listening. Look forward to the next one. Take care.
See ya.
Cheers.